this tape, I'm teaching you about my system of fighting, self-defense. In most of my other tapes, I always include huge chunks of my classical martial arts, that is Tai Chi, Bagua, etc. This tape was suggested to me by a friend of mine and student, a long-distance student in the States called Doug Scull, who wanted a series of tapes simply showing the really deadly, very direct, streetwise applications of the Montaigue system. He already had a few of my tapes, and of course they're on a lot of those tapes anyway, but he wanted just a pure one showing the violent movements that we must have, of course, in order to survive in the street. There's no nice way of fighting, no matter how many so-called Tai Chi people like to tell you. There is no easy or nice way to fight. You either hurt or be killed. You can't take a raving lunatic and gently put him down to say, ha ha, see what I can do. Forget it, he's an animal who'll get up and beat the living daylights out of you. So there's only one way to fight in the street, and that is using violence. However, having said that, I will say that the internal martial arts way of violence is slightly different. When I say violence, I don't mean anger. I mean aggression, of course, but I don't mean anger. Animals don't get angry when they fight. They simply do what they have to do in order to survive, even if it means killing the other animal. And in the wild, usually that's the way it goes. Some animals have evolved to a higher level whereby they sort of test each other out and one runs off. But for the most part, humans are more animal than animals, in that human beings kill, especially with knives and guns and weapons like baseball bats and so on. So the more violent we are, the more chance we have of simply surviving in a realistic self-defense way. People who say that you don't have to be violent obviously have never ever been in a real situation against an animal. You can't talk to these animals. You can't talk them down saying, hey, look, you know, I can do this and I can do that. Let's just talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. They just want to come and beat the heck out of you to show what big men they are and to satisfy their own huge egos. With these people, there's no turning back. They cannot pretend to be the coward. They have to show their friends that they are manly and that they can fight. And so they want to fight you. Sure, if some person's a real drunk and he's really out of it, maybe then, yeah, I mean, you always try not to fight someone. But in a street, in a realistic situation, there's no talking someone out of it. You have to be violent. Using these methods, the internal martial arts methods, or the old Montaigue system methods, taken from the internal martial arts, of course, you have ways of not getting angry, literally acting subconsciously so that your mind acts as a motor, not as a conscious thinking mind, human mind anymore. Your mind acts like an animal. In other words, we rely upon the part of our brain that is now scientifically called the reptile brain, or anatomically the brain stem. That's our survival brain. We have 3 brains, but that's our survival brain. And all animals, including snakes, of course, that's the only one snakes have. All animals have this survival brain, or reptile brain. And this is the brain that causes us to go into a subconscious mode and just do what we have to do in order to survive. Dogs don't think about what they're doing when they're fighting. If the opportunity presents itself, a dog will simply attack. The neck's there, bang, it'll go for the neck.